So making sure that right lane is good before we send any more cars down the track. We just finished up our NE2 category. Motorcycles are on deck next. We look at my handy-dandy schedule here. Looks like motorcycle, then 7.0 Pro, then B-Gas, then NE1, then A-Gas, and then finally King of the Track. And then we'll roll back into CIFCA later on in the night. It's not even evening now. It's a night. It's night. We're night now. It's 8:30. It's night. But party don't stop just because it's 8:30. We're going to be partying all night long. We got a lot of races to go. Hope everybody's having a good time. I know it's late, but good thing tomorrow's Sunday so you can sit on your couch and do nothing and be hungover and watch football. That's what I'll be doing, I promise. I want to thank everybody that came out to race with us this weekend, everybody who made the track. This is probably one of the biggest Governor's Cups in a long time. This the hot rod car count we had is only second to what they get at the March meet, and we're not really even that far off of the March meet, so that's saying something. So massive car count, over 200 cars. I think the total car count was like 218 total cars today, which is just massive. So a big shout out to everybody who drove a far ways to get here for the 53rd and final Governor's Cup. We still got plenty of stuff left to go. We still got the jet car. We still got the Nitro stuff, the Pro Mods, the Wheelstanders, all that good stuff. Lots of champions to crown here, and the night is still young. Looks like we're getting the top end drug out a little bit, just making sure that the top end's extra sticky. I know that when you have oil down like we did earlier in the right lane, that it takes a little bit of extra love to get all that oil out of the rubber. So we're making sure that we give the track that extra love, and so we can continue racing all night. I want to know why Brian is walking down the racetrack. We got vehicles. We got golf carts and scooters, Brian. What are you doing? So while we're still down here for just a little bit, you know, I really want to say that, you know, I haven't been working at Sacramento for a long time, and I actually never announced a drag race until I moved here because of the military. And I came out to one of Tony's big money races, and I was just kind of farting around, taking videos, you know, doing whatever for YouTube, and then walked up here randomly, and somebody handed me a microphone, and I started announcing, and here I am now. So there's a lot of people that have made this place what it is, that have been here a whole lot longer than I have, and I got a list of names that I've been given. I just want to give some shout-outs here to Peggy Troxel down there. Peggy in the time slip booth has been doing this forever. She's one of the staples of the track. If you've ever raced at Sacramento Raceway, you've seen Peggy at least once when you get your time slip. And, of course, Paul Bradner helping us with our track prep. You see him driving around in his brand-new white Chevy Colorado. Nicole, his daughter, up here in the tower running the timing system. Of course, Eric, who's been announcing here for a super long time. Taught me almost everything I know about announcing, been working with Eric for a super long time. Brian Taylor, who's starting right now because Mike O'Neill, our normal starters on his motorcycle, about to race round number 1. Jason Bauer helping out with track prep, laying down that sticky icky like I always say. Rick Morris in the back of the lanes helping us get cars paired up, and you know, sometimes we give him a little bit more than he can handle at times, and he gets frustrated, but we love you, Rick. Ken Morris, Richard Morris, the entire Morris family helping us out. Frank Velasco, Frankie, the safety guy. You see him in the big red truck parked down here next to the tower, and he was not afraid to run you over to get to an accident because he wants to make sure all of our drivers are safe. All of our photographers that have been here throughout the years, making sure we get super good photos of everybody that makes a pass down the racetrack or sitting in the stands or whatever we got going on, the crews and all that. George that helps out with our facilities, cleaning the bathrooms, taking out the trash, you know, all the stuff that nobody wants to do but has to get done. George takes care of it. Racers for Christ, coming out here and doing the chapel service every Sunday when we have an event on Sundays. Amy, Chauncey, and all the snack bar crew for helping, you know, make sure everybody gets fed. But we got Dan Martin, Lacey Martin, the Martin family, making sure that we have a safe track to race on. Dan's also been racing forever. He's driving Rick Worthington's car now. Of course, Mikey and Allie Crump. Allie took over the ET series and track operations and management standpoint for a while, and then, you know, of course me, but we don't got to talk about me because I'm just here.
There we go, back to racing. Let's try motorcycles. Everett Everhart, Manny Santos, first 2. Round 1 of motorcycles. Yep, that sounds like a Governor's Cupism. 8:30 at night, round 1 of bikes. I need A fuel, roll to the lanes, please. A fuel, why don't you start heading to the lanes, please. I'm not going to worry about California funny cars right now. A fuel, need you to head to the lanes. Big time advantage to Everett Everhart. Right side of the road. Look for that wind light to come on right about now. 912 at 141 miles an hour. 947 there for Manny at 144. Go right to Carlos Ochoa, Chris Schiffley. Carlos, the runner from here. Couple of cowies come to the starting line. 940 over there. 1031 over here from Chris, the player from Valley Springs. The 75K Z9000. The 15 ZX10. That's what Carlos is riding. You see the minus sign. It means that side of the track is going to be a full tree. So you can actually see a split tree start right now. You'll know what I mean when you see it. So one side counts down full, one side counts down pro. That is the driver's discretion. Rider's discretion in this case. Oh, he goes too quick, 10:09. 1388 there for Carlos, 45. Chris got down there and took a whole bunch too much. Chris just clicked it. Cliff Williams, Turbo Joe, Barascas, you're next too. So again, A Fuel, roll this way, please. A Fuel, roll this way.
Yeah, we've been racing for so long today that the stream decided it was time to be done, so I had to restart a different stream.
Red light start, Cliff Williams. Turbo Joe says 862. You are on a fun run now. He lights the boards with an 872 at 149 miles per hour. Cliff 1086, red light start 128. Next up, David Blair 939, Tommy Brown 866, the Hayabusa out of Fernley, Nevada. You go up to Top Gun Raceway, little tiny track, little out in the middle of nowhere. They have 3 different racers named Tom Brown, all in the same place. David Blair from Hollister. The Johnny's Bar Bad Juju Racing, Harley Davidson. Okay, correct dial, 935 over there, 866 over here. They roll on in. Red light, Tommy Brown. He fouls it away by 15 thou. 945, 137 over there, 878 red light, star 146 the speed.
Ed Burdell, Lucas Velasquez, left side well in control, wind light. Ed Burdell, 39 on the tree, 891.5, 133 miles an hour, gets the job done. Lucas, slow reaction time, 200s above the dial, but still no good. Ed Burdell in control of that one and turns on a wind light. Brad Hawks, Scott Simpson. Brad Hawks left side, 9 flat. Scott Simpson right side, 9 flat. 9 flat heads up, and a massive reaction time advantage to Scott Simpson. Winlight, Scott Simpson on a double breakout victory. 895 on that 9 flat index, good enough to move on to round number 2. Anthony Vanetti, Jesse Dolan, your next 2. Left side Vanetti, 831. Right side Dolan, 1065. Reaction time advantage to the left-hand side for Vanetti. Winlight says on the left-hand side, Vanetti, 051 reaction time, 849.0 on the 831 dial-in. Good enough to move to round number 2 by 55 thousandths of a second as Jesse Dolan missed the reaction time, and 1087 on the 1065, no good. Your next 2. Mike O'Neill going to take the win there, 848.9 on the 853 via the red light. Bill Combest and Don Caesar, your next 2. Combest left side, 1034. Out of Ego, California, right side, Don Caesar, the Don, 913 on the GSXR. Uh-oh. The Don is in trouble. Missed a shift. Uh-oh. Winlight says left-hand side. Bill Combest, 30 on the tree. 1036.9 on the 1034. Don Caesar missed it. 061 on the tree. And then 984 on the 913. Missed a shift. And the Don bows out in round number 1. Kenny Mackost and Steve Parker. Macos, left-hand side, 918 the dial-in. The Hayabusa out of Sacramento, right side. Steve Parker for the chassis bike, also out of Sacramento. The Omega Motorcycles, 78 KZ 1000, 1019 the dial-in. They are dead even on the reaction time. Exactly same reaction time. It comes down to the finish line, which says right side, Steve Parker, 1023 on the 1019 dial-in. Got there first by 27 thousandths of a second with a win light. Kenny, 925 on the 918 dial-in, no good. Mark Avila earned the freebie in round number 2. 880 is the dial-in for the Hayabusa out of Fresno, California. I should have 7.0 Pro locked, loaded, and ready to rock and roll. At least that's what it says on my my schedule. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think so. Three thou red and 935 on that 880 dial-in.
All right, into 7.0 Pro. Richard Phillips out of Visalia, California, 32 Bantam altered, 511 Donovan power. John Lenko, that 95 DRE dragster, 400 cubic inches of small block Chevrolet. You want to talk about a true blue nostalgia car? Well, look at both of them. But John Lenko, that one is a epitome of what they were back in the day.
John Lenko got a tall order in the left-hand lane. Richard Phillips, your number 1 qualifier out of Visalia, California. That 32 Bantam, the Phillips Racing Machine. Norm's Towing and Marv Phillips over there are your number 1 qualifier. Let's see what they can do here.
Both of these guys, original members. And John Lenko almost ends up swapping lanes and just brushing shoulders with Richard Phillips, who goes 7:05, 182. These guys, both originators of the category that started right here at Sacramento Raceway.
Hey, just a heads up, that last round of nostalgia.
Jason Vanderpool, Tony Trimp. Big time points implications here.
Jason Vanderpool took out Lawton Ferreira Jr. first round, and now Tony Trimp, if he can take out Jason here, got a wide open window to tighten up that first through third in the points in 7.0 Pro.
Jason Vanderpool looking for that Cinderella story there. Thrashing all night to get that transmission back together. I know they're sending out a big thanks to Burbage and Spec Right torque converters over there for getting that thing back together. They're going to have some fun here. Tony Tripp is not ready to let them just walk on by on that point standing. So this will be interesting.
You got to think, that Whiskey Kitchen crew over there for Jason Vanderpool, they've got to be tired, dude. They've been up since 2 o'clock this morning working on the car. They got about 4 or 5 hours of sleep, if that, and now we're already at almost 9 o'clock at night, and we're only in second round.
They are absolutely digging deep to make that happen. And it'll be awesome to see it happen, but they got to get past Tony Tripp. That's the end-all, be-all.
Tony Tripp, that Harvey Williams racing team, Rough and Ready Motorsports on the right-hand side, trying to take out number 1. Let's see what we got.
Jason Vanderpool way up against the wall there, but he is going to take the win. Tony Tripp goes 6.992. He's going to break it out and hand that win over. I don't know what I just saw there. You want to talk about a Cinderella story? What just happened?
Wow. Jason Vanderpool was behind on the reaction time by almost 0.02 of a second. Jason Vanderpool got up towards the side of the wall, had to lift. Tony Tripp goes through the finish line, breaks out, and loses. Jason Vanderpool got away with 1.
Hide the sharp objects. All right, moving on here, we are into B-Gas, 860 the category here. Neil Westbrook out of Pixley, California, and Brian Franks out of El Grove. Pair of 68 Camaros. Let's see who gets it done here. 860, that elusive number. A-Fuel, need you to the lanes, please. A-Fuel to the lanes. California Independent Funny Car Association, need you guys too. CIFCA, need you guys too. Kevin Albert out of Chico, California, in that 66 Nova over there in the far lane. Mike Gillespie in the 63 Chevy 2. 632 cubic inches of Merlin power underneath the hood of that hot rod right over there. Got the primered Nova versus the pretty one. Well, they're both pretty. I like the way they look. They sit good. Starting line advantage, Mike Gillespie over here in the tower side. Can he hang on? No, he is going to give it back. Kevin Albert going to be moving on 868 to an 887. Ken Sicey, Bill Anderson. Going to be mixing it up here. Nova versus Camaro. The Nova's going to take the win. 868 for Ken. Matt Garcia in the far lane over there in that Bantam altered 540 inches of blown alcohol Chevy out of Acampo, California. That Team Galt Racing. Steve Schofield, Murray, Utah, the 23T bucket. That's Sonny's toy over here in the near lane. Wife Stephanie Garcia out there, the backup babes. Matt Garcia ran Nostalgia Eliminator 2 last year, stepping it up big time with the big motor this year. Let's see if he can take on Steve Schofield. Big time player here. Big time test for Matt. See if he can get past Sonny's toy too.
Matt Garcia, Steve Schoenfeld.
Great off the starting line. Matt down there doing some shimmying. What is going on here? Here we go. Matt Garcia goes 769, way out of the throttle early. 150. I think they were both playing games down there. That's low mile an hour for either one of them. Attention in the pits. Attention in the pits. I need Eddie Lucas, Miguel Lomas, Wes Anderson, Sam Tucker, Eric Warner, and Grafton up to the staging lanes, please, to rerun Nostalgia 2. Eddie Lucas, Miguel Lomas, Anderson, Tucker, Grafton, Warner. Back to the staging lanes ASAP, please. Hot Rod needs you to the back of the lanes. Hot Rod, to the back of the lanes. Gabe Brown out of Reno, Nevada, the Fabricator 06 Neyland Parks chassis. That is the Dirty Digger. Tim Beeman out of Los Molinos, California, the 32 Bantam Altered. One of your champions for NorCal Nostalgia in Nostalgia Eliminator 3. Looking to double up here as he's #1 in the points. Gabe stands in his way. They are real close on the tree. Oh, and it's going to be Gabe Brown going to take out the champion with a 767 to a 771. Gabe Brown might have just been the spoiler for the points matchup right now. How about an all NorCal nostalgia round? Austin Means, out of Rhode Island, the technician, and that 97 Sterling chassis. That's Means Racing over there. In the LS-powered front-engine dragster. Gonna be taking on the Tiffany Blue Terror, Sabrina Bacor out of Sonoma, California, the 37 Topolino, 350 cubic inches of big block Chevrolet, or small block Chevrolet, blown on alcohol. Both of these guys here, NorCal Nostalgia admins, they are class reps, gonna be taking on each other. Good friends, but from burnout to turnout. It's time to take them out. How many old school small block fans do we have out there? Oh, that wasn't very many. How about LS fans? How many LS fans do we got in the crowd tonight? Austin Means looking like he's having a hard time backing up there. The yellow crew running down. Might just not be able to get it in reverse. Sabrina Bacora, good friends either way. Gonna shut it off. See what happens here. Looks like they're pushing them both back. Let's see what happens here. Hot Rod to 5 and 6. Hot Rod to 5 and 6, please. That dragster over there is still running. Greg Means over there, that's normally the driver of that car, son, taking over. He's going to stick his hand in front of the butterflies, try and cool that LS car down while they wait for Sabrina Bacor to refire. All right, the Tiffany Blue Terror comes back to life. They're going to roll it on in here. All right, here we go. Pre-stage light on for the Fiat. Austin Means gonna walk on in. Let's see what happens here. Austin Means out in front. Oh, gonna give it back. 779 to a 778.
Brett Pickler, Chris Curtis, your next or your first two out, round number 2 of A Gas. Brett Pickler, left-hand side. At Cameron Park, California, the 69 Camaro. Your number 1 qualifier. Right side, Chris Curtis out of Bakersfield. The Aquaflow and Ken Turf 70 Chevelle.
Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Lucas, Lomas, Grafton, Warner, Anderson, and Tucker. I need you guys to the back of the staging lanes for a rerun, please. You know your pair. Lucas, Lomas, Grafton, Warner, Anderson, and Tucker. Half of you are hooligans, so if you hear my voice, you recognize it. Get to the back of the staging lanes, please.
Win like Chris Curtis, 769.2 on the 760 index, 159 miles an hour. Good enough for a win like Brett Pickler, 793, and no good. Dave Fulfer, Weasel Anders, your next two out for A-Gas. Fulfer left-hand side, the 63 Corvette out of Ripon, California. Your number 13 qualifier. Right side, Weasel Anders, number 4 qualifier out of South San Francisco. The Bittner fam and Juggers Racing 67 Nova on the tower side. Your number 4 qualifier, the Wheeze, as Eric like to call him. So Fulfer and Anders doing battle here, round number 2 of A-Gas. Weasel Anders well in control of this one. A win light says, oh no, Dave Fulfer takes it 766.0, 175 miles an hour. Weasel, 0-20 reaction time, had a massive hole shot advantage, 756.9. No good.
Okay, we're doing a quick check in the shutoff here. We have a couple minor things. I'm just going to give a very clear heads up to everybody, the racers and everything. We are not going to be able to complete this entire event tonight. We know, you know, that's why you see the A-Fuel cars heading back to the pits. We are just basically, the cars that I have that are in the lanes, everything that we've called so far should be coming up the lanes. We will get you through. Everybody's going to be down to like quarters and semis is what's going to happen. We have the top fuel car and the jet car. They will be coming up about 9:45, and they will be the last things down the track. We know that a lot of you come out here, you want to see the full race, but we do have to really respect our racers and know what the track is happening, and you can feel the air. I mean, as the humidity comes up, the track starts going away, and there's no way we're going to be able to send really fast race cars down the track. So I've already talked with my A-Fuel racers, and I've never had 3 drivers happier than me saying, you aren't going down the track again tonight. You know, they all very much agreed with it. So you see them pulling out as not they're just being disgruntled people and pulling out of the lanes. I am the one that went down and said, I do not feel safe having that high horsepower car, and these are the 3 cars that are still in the points in A-Fuel. So they're going to head back. We will finish this race tomorrow morning. After we finish up what we're going to do tonight, we'll have you will know when we're done because it's going to be a really loud jet and a fuel car right next to it. They will be the last things down the track. We're going to continue running with what we have. You have a ticket that will get the event completed tomorrow morning. We'll probably start about 10 or 11, somewhere in there. We haven't going to iron out all the. So no, you guys, if you're still here in the lanes, you're going to run. The thing we're checking out at the top end is something unrelated. Ken Morris, call Paul Brandner, please. Ken Morris, call Paul Brandner. So we're just going to kind of hang with what we have. We're not going to have a lot of stuff left to race tomorrow, but it is not one of these good old days of let's just keep running them until something bad happens. So we're just going to finish it on a positive note tonight. So again, the cars that are in the lanes, we will finish with you guys. I have now called the jet car and the fuel car to head this way. That's why it was so quiet. There's no announcers in here. Hey, funny cars at the ready line. There you guys, ready to go? As I said, we're going to have the funny cars. We have Hot Rod in the back of the lanes. And again, racers, just so you heard me clearly, the cars that are in lanes, we will continue. We'll finish up with the round you're in, get you down the track. Funny cars here. I need my jet car, Jeff Atamian. And Dave Smith called me a while back. I didn't share it with you. They said a 10-cent fuse, basically a fuse burned out in their thingamajig, and that's why they couldn't get the car to fire. So everything's great with it. They'll be back. Cliff Boyle's solo run for the number 2 qualifier. The Stewed just cruising on down the road. Clicks it a little early, goes 842 at just 116 miles an hour. Here comes your semifinals. California Funny Car Association. I just talked with Tony in the lanes. We will be back on track 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. But guys, don't go away. We got funny cars, we got fuel, we got jet. We also got some hot rods. So, who's over there? Oh, where'd the button go? Why's the button all over there? Why is there an empty beer can in here? Bobby Cottrell, James Mayer. Here's your semifinals. California Funny Cars. The points championship is decided. James Mayer is the champ. Everybody else, well, sorry. Dad's the boss. He said his son's the champ. Great side-by-side burnouts. Bobby over there, the team of Ken and Denise win. The runner from Hemet, as I said. His other race car, basically the same green colors, but it is darn fast. The O'Brien and Austin Nitro Funny Car. James over here qualified first. Bobby qualified number 7. Difference in California Funny Cars is not just how much horsepower you bring to the line, it's how you handle it. How you handle that stripe that's 1,000 feet down the road. So again, Hot Rod, you should be ready. You're going to follow Funny Cars. Hot Rod, you will be on a ladder after this round. Big time late was James Mayer. 596, 165 miles an hour there for Bobby Cottrell. Puts out that 592, 170 miles an hour of Jim Mayer. Bobby goes to the big round. Who's going there with him? Rick Alvarado or Tony Trimp? Little Mighty Mouse. Rough and ready. Give 5 hundo to Tony. Here comes the stripe. Holy cow, 6 seconds flat. 176 for Rick Alvarado, your winner here. He's going to go to the final round of race. Bobby Cottrell. Tony, 608, 162. Had him on the tree. Might have just given it back to him. So again, Jeff Atamian, Greg Kramer, bring him up. You're going to follow Hot Rod. Hey, we are going to get to see what Joachim Youngberg's car can do. The Raw Valley Motorsports and Pete Ortiz, they are going to drive it to the quarter. So again, after Hot Rod, and there's only like, what, 10 pair of them or so? Yeah, about 10 pair. We should have our jet car back. We'll have Dave Smith's Nitro Fever back at that point. They're going to run to the stripe, not the little stripe, the big stripe where you see the lights down there. Pete Ortiz on a run, 625. 224 miles an hour. Joachim, I mean, he was moving first part of the racetrack, then all of a sudden, it sounded like it might want to break loose out there. 17 seconds at 42 miles an hour. Okay, guys, all the spectators, we need you back off the starting line. We need to have cars where we need to see dial-ins. Again, Hot Rod. Everybody, just so you know, up front, just come back tomorrow. If you have a wristband, fine. Probably if you don't have a wristband, we're not going to be exactly strict. Round 3 of Hot Rod at the ready line. There should be about 20 race cars right now. Yeah, go ahead. Take over Hot Rod.
Round number 3 of Hot Rod. We started with 70 some odd cars and we've whittled it down. And we're going to continue doing so until we got a winner. Unfortunately, that's going to be tomorrow. This is the last you'll see of Hot Rod this evening. Dan Fisher, Don Momi, your first 2 out. Fisher left side. 1065 the dial in for the Redwood City, California base 64. Fairland over there. Right side, Don Momi at 953 on the board for the 38 Chevy, the Ratty 38 Racing Hot Rod, Howell drilling on board. Red light start for Dan Fisher. Don Momi gets the free ride around number 4. Gets a look at 953, about 955.8, 141 miles an hour there for Don. 037 reaction time to start. 2 above 8 out the back door. Dan Fisher probably thought it was a pro tree. Looks like he used like 100 or 496 red, which would make sense. He probably let go on the top thinking that it was a pro tree. Dennis Paz, David Rudd, your next 2. Woof. How about this one? These 2 could be in the king of the track race off. Dennis Paz, left side, 1061 for the El Camino out of Stockton. Right side, David Rudd, 1295 the dial in for the 71 Nova out of Wilton. I'll give you a little secret. Dennis Paz usually blinds the tree, but you can't do it at night. David Rudd looking good. David Rudd with a win light. How about David? 22 on the starting line, dead on with a 9. How about 31 total package there for David Rudd? Dennis Paz was 52 on the let go and locked out. Could not win the race with that reaction time. David Rudd sends Dennis packing. We'll see a king of the track tomorrow, though. So they might match up again during the king of the track runoff. But David Rudd moves on to round number 4. Robert Butler, Doug Rudd, your next 2. Butler, left side. 1057 for the 66 Chevelle out of Citrus Heights. Right side, Doug Rudd. His son David just got it done, the previous pair. Here comes Doug trying to take out Robert Butler. Survey says not going to do it. Robert Butler, 15 on the tree. How about 1066 on the 1057 dial and got the finish line first by 14 thousandths of a second. Doug Rudd, 057 reaction time. 1119 on the 1113. No bueno. Robert Butler advances. Jake Guadagnolo, Michelle Olenak. Jake, left side, wheels up Guadagnolo, 10:02 the dial in for the Wheelstander Nova. Get your cameras out. This is going to be a good one. Right side, Michelle Olenak in the 75 Pinto. 10:40 on the board for her. Wheels up, wheels down for Jake, real close to the wall, has to drive it back. Jake trying to hunt down Michelle. He lost a lot of ET up front. What's it say? Win light, Jake Guadagnolo, 45 or 49 on the tree. 10:14 on the 10:02 dial in. Black Ford, license plate 8ZE G687. You are parked in the lanes and you are blocking the jet car, and you're going to make a lot of fans unhappy if you're blocking the jet car. Black Ford, license plate 8ZE G687, parked in the lanes. You need to move it immediately. You are blocking the jet car. Simeon Kennedy, left side, 10:30 the dial in for the 55 Chevy out of Livermore. Right side, 1279 the dial in for Greg Rudd. Well, neither were stellar on the tree. Advantage to the left side. Wind light, left side, Simeon Kennedy. How about 69 on the tree, the better of the two reaction times. 10:35-2 on the 10:30 dial-in. Got to the finish line first. 8th thou in front. Greg Rudd missed it on the tree. 0.99 goes 12.82 on the 12.79 to be no good. Simeon Kennedy will advance. Bryce Youngdale and Dan Rowley. Youngdale on the left-hand side, the beautiful 69. I think it's a Skylark. Out of Turlock, 1150 on the board for Bryce. Dan Rowley right side, going to be rolling through 5 gears down the racetrack to a 10 flat dial-in. Wow. And Dan Rowley, super lucky there. Bryce Youngdale turns on the red light by 4 thousandths of a second. And Dan Rowley lets go way, way early. True start not in effect here, so Bryce Youngdale, being the slower car, left the starting line first, and he turned it red, so automatically gives the win there to Dan Rowley. Randy Snyder, Brian Hawksley, your next two. Snyder, left-hand side, 10:56 on the board for the 73 Vega. Right side, Brian Hawksley. 65 Biscayne out of Tehachapi. 1085 on the board for the land boat on the tower side. Got a tough customer over there on the left, Randy. Two thou on the tree, separate them. Survey says Randy Snyder, 30 on the tree, 1062 on the 1056. Got there first without breaking out. That's the name of the game. Brian Hawksley, 028 on the tree, goes 1098.3 on the 1085. Could not run the number. Randy Snyder coming back to the ladder round tomorrow morning. Mike Holland, Lacey Bogan. Holland left side, the 72 Maverick, 1239 the dial-in. Right side, Lacey Bogan, 12 flat for the 63 Corvette. Mike Holland out of Truck E up there near Lake Tahoe. Woof. Reaction times that are not going to be spoken of. I will say, one of them's got a massive advantage. Yep, win light, Lacey Bogan. 1239 on the 12 flat dial. And how about a 3 thou margin of victory for Lacey Bogan, turning on a win light. Mike Holland, something on the starting line not going right. His reaction time way, 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 way late. And Lacey Bogan snuck in there by 3 thousandths of a second, turning on a win light. Mike Troxel Jr. and Henry Robertson. Troxel Jr. left side, 964. Henry Robertson and stickers on the right-hand side, 1087. Oh, no. Henry Robertson, 5 thou red, and Mike Troxel is 55 red right behind him. Win light, Mike Troxel, 966 on the 964. John Hildebrand gets the solo freebie in round number 4 of Hot Rod, 920 on the board. There is a little Toyota parked over here behind the tower in the funny car pits. Needs to be moved immediately. License plate 5TGP569. California plate. Needs to be moved immediately. You are blocking the funny car pits. A little Toyota 5TGP569. Needs to be moved immediately. So don't go anywhere. We still got one more time down for the Jet Car and Nitro Fever. As that will complete our round of Hot Rod. We still got the Jet Car. We still got Nitro Fever. Going to go at it one more time this evening. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., 10 a.m. start time. We're going to finish this thing out. Your ticket for today's gate entry is good for tomorrow. Once again, if you have a spectator or crew pass to get into the track today, you will have an entry to tomorrow if you would like to come see the completion of the event.
Test, 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 test. Now we can hear me. You know that happens? You call a jet car and a top fuel car to the lane. You know, 3 more nitro cars. Gang, way back when, the president of the International Hot Rod Association said, what was the best racetrack he ever saw? His answer was the one that had grandstands that were full of fabulous fans. You are the people we didn't close down in the 90s. We want a great finish to this race. So what are we going to do? We're going to bring some nitro cars out for you. We're going to finish the Governor's Cup the way we should, with a jet car. I know some of you are saying, well, why aren't you going to finish all those other categories? You know what? They're here for points. They're running for season championships. They have another event in a month. We don't want to hear, you know what happened at Sacramento, to be a reason why somebody did not get a championship chance. So that's why we're going to bring everybody back that is still in competition tomorrow starting at 10. I really don't care if you can't find your ticket. Just come on out. We're not going to charge you to get in. I have Brian Hall. I have Brendan Murray. I have Wally Chiavia. I have Greg Kramer. I have Jeff Atamian. They are already here getting set to give you a great final few minutes here at the final ever Governor's Cup. Logan was going through all the different people that have come and helped us here at the racetrack. One of the people, when I started, was your track. Greg, I'm starting to kick out. I'm going to move over here. Hey, now it's better. Greg Mayer was the track manager when I started here. He passed on probably about 15, 20 years ago or so. He was the one that kept this track running. He would be out here scrubbing the racetrack before every major event with our old track scrubber, and sorry to see him missed. He was the crew chief on a championship-winning top fuel car with the Heritage Series. That car just happened to be the one owned by Dave Smith. It was the Smith, Wolf, and Mayer car. Pete Kaiser is on the grounds. He was the driver of that race car. Somebody who was doing it back then, still here, either in spirit, as I saw. Rick Santos was here a little earlier, that great SNS automotive car. One that always came out and crushed all the hitters. So I'm just kind of filling in time because my fuel guys are all getting suited up and ready to go. And I think I'm going to spend these last few runs down here with you. I can announce, you can see scoreboards. I don't have to tell you anything about the cars that you don't already know. So as soon as I get them here, lit, and we're going to enjoy the last Nitro runs at Sacramento Raceway all together. Okay, and I'm just going to remind people, I mean, when you have people locked in, you guys don't have anywhere to go after you're done here tonight. Go visit with some of the racers in the pits, because we know it's going to be a traffic jam getting out of here. I'm going to be trying to figure out what we're going to do tomorrow morning. But we will start at 10 a.m. We'll run it to conclusion. I will just say, I had 3 very happy racers in A Fuel because the 3 cars that were left in competition are the top 3 cars in the championship. They were more than happy to come back here tomorrow. I'm ready for some top fuel cars. You ready for some top fuel cars? Let's do it. Gang, I don't like to say it, but for the last time, officially at Sacramento Raceway, here come 2 top fuel dragsters. Yeah, I'm just telling you, I know they shut off early. I asked them to because I don't want us to suddenly not get to see the rest of our show. We just got to smell Nitro on the starting line, and you know the funny thing about it? It sure smelled like pot smoke. That was a combination I didn't think I'd ever get, that Nitro was going to be overpowered by a little cannabis on the starting line. So whoever back there is doing, give a hand to the top fuel teams. Brandon goes down. Brian Hall went down. I didn't even say their names. You know who they were. We had a couple of top fuel cars. I see some lights down there. They're just probably just making sure everybody's good. Nitro funny car. We're only going to get to see one of them because, well, James Day went kaboom with the other one in the first session down the racetrack. So you're going to get to see Wally Giavia and the G-Men all by themselves. Hey, I still hear somebody's alarm going off over there. Bummer. Somebody's going to have a dead battery. And as soon as I see that truck moved away, I have a feeling one of our top fuel cars probably stopped a little early on the racing surface. And sometimes, well, it happens where the top fuel cars tend to lock up a clutch, and they just have to kind of do some minor things rocket free. And as soon as I see that truck move, you're going to hear another nitro burning engine. And by my watch, we're officially going to finish on time. I know we're not finished with the finish part of the race, but we're going to finish tonight on time. You guys are getting a great show. We're really happy that we've got to do it. For the last 35 years, I've got to stand down here and do what I love to do, which is watch drag racing with other people. Yeah, you have to talk about it too, but I spend all my time, I have fun coming to the racetrack. People ask, oh, are you out there for the money? No, I'm not out for the money. I'm out here to watch race cars. You're here to watch race cars, right? Well, as soon as I see that truck moving, we're going to watch race cars. Then we're going to finish the Governor's Cup the way we want to finish the Governor's Cup. All right, it looks like the truck is turned the correct direction. In this case, tail lights are good. Let's have a little more nitro. Wally Giavia, the G-Man, gonna send a nitro burning funny car down at 9:57 p.m. Hey, remember when I said the first time I ever came to the Governor's Cup was in 1973? That's what the funny car final looked like. There was no traction anywhere. It was physically raining. And now, we're at that point. Gang, we got Dave Smith's Top Fuel Dragster. We said thank you very much to the Smith family earlier this afternoon for everything they've done over the past 53 years. They're going to send a nitro burning car that is Dave's toy down the racetrack alongside a Jeff Atamian. So as Wally Giavia's team goes down to collect their driver, want to thank them for that last bit of nitro they got to do. In a moment, the last official bit of nitro that anybody is going to do is going to go down this racetrack. I have a jet car. I have a fuel car. As I said, I probably didn't hear it. The reason they couldn't run the Nitro Fever car the first time they ran was a $1 fuse. Something went away. They believe in the starter motor. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the motor. They just couldn't get the starter motor to spin over and get the motor to run. It's always fun to be a kid. So, we're just waiting for it is, and we're going to do it. You always wonder what to say. Back in 1988, I was there when the last cars went down the track at Baylands Raceway. I was just helping out. You know what? I had only been at this track for 2 months. The last time a drag strip had to close in Northern California. Well, here we are, 35 years later. Announcing here has outlasted my teaching career. I retired 2 years ago after 33 years of teaching. Wanted to spend the rest of my time doing fun things? Well, what's one of those fun things? What's more fun than coming out to a racetrack and watching race cars all day long? So, as I see the top fuel car back there, the jet car over here, I have to keep standing this way. Every time I turn my head, things go awry. So I'm just going to kind of look for Heather to flap her hand somewhere, or Dan, or anybody that can show me we're ready. Oh, we're after curfew, so you guys got to be quiet now for the next few minutes. All right. Enough said, enough done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for the ride. Let's get a jet car, the last thing down the racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for everything and every time you've been out. Have a safe trip home. See some of you back here tomorrow. We love doing it. We've loved doing it for years and years and years. It is time, unfortunately, to say goodbye to big time here at Sacramento Raceway. From everybody here, all my track crew, my safety crew, everybody, thank all. Safe trip home. If you've had a chance to have a little too much, well, make sure somebody safe's behind the seat. It's going to be a traffic jam. Go visit racers in the pits. They want to talk about their race cars, all that fun stuff. It's not like you have anything else to do. It's 10 o'clock at night. So have a great time. Spend your last few hours here visiting with everybody at the track, and some of you will see tomorrow. Some of you, unfortunately, will only get to see us in memories. Goodbye again from Sacramento. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dave Smith's crew going down to pick up their race car. Give them one last hand.
Hey, if somebody lost their headphones, like earmuffs, they are in the tower.